It's my birthday.
If you like what's going on around here, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Goat Day's back with another. Welcome back, y'all, to another Grounds with the Goats. How y'all doing today? Yeah.
Just another day.
Another day. Just another day. Life went good last night.
It did.
As always, I really just don't have a whole lot planned for my birthday today, unless someone's got a surprise for me or something.
I already had my surprise. You didn't even know it was a surprise, so what's the point of surprising?
So y'all seen my sign last night? Finally, I think that's probably the big reason why I was so excited for the live last night. I'm starting on Full Blown Countries today.
Full Blown Country? Yeah. I was thinking Freedom Pooch.
Yeah, that's who it is.
I know,
So
but
I
he's
think
got
I'm gonna
different
get
channels, right?
Full Blown, I don't know. There's no reason for the order of how I'm doing them,
No.
honestly.
Are you
Yeah,
cold?
there's no specific order. It's just the next one on my brain was Full Blown Country.
Dad is having bone marrow tested today.
Yeah, you test for leukemia because he's losing blood and they can't figure out why.
Where and why. Yeah.
So they're wondering if he has leukemia, which I don't know about that.
I think they're just trying to roll it out.
I feel like he would
all of this.
probably look extremely worse if he had leukemia. Yeah, she was a sweetheart. I can't remember her name. Alright, y'all, we are going to read back in 1 Peter 4, only this time we're going to go 1 through 11. 1 through 11.
Stewards of God's grace is what my Bible says it's called.
Living for God is what mine says it's called.
Since therefore Christ suffered in the flesh, arm yourselves with the same way of thinking, for whoever has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin, so as to live for the rest of the time in the flesh, no longer for human passions, but for the will of God. For the time that is past suffices for doing what the Gentiles want to do, living in sensuality, passions, drunkenness, orgies, drinking parties, and lawless idolatry. With respect to this, and they are surprised when you do not join them in the same flood of debauchery, and they malign you, but they will give account to him who is ready to judge the living and the dead. For this is why the gospel was preached, even to those who are dead, that though judged in the flesh the way people are, that might live in the spirit the way God does. The end of all things is at hand. Therefore be self-controlled and sober-minded for the sake of your prayers. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Show hospitality to one another without grumbling. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace.
Love it. Mine is so much different. I'm going to read a little bit.
I know, it's hard to
try
to keep up with you when you're reading it.
Mine says, therefore, since Christ suffered in his body, arm yourselves with the same attitude, because whoever suffers in the body is done with sin. As a result, they do not live the rest of their earthly lives for evil human desires, but rather for the will of God. For you have spent enough time in the past doing what pagans choose to do, living in debauchery, lust, drunkenness, orgies, carousing, and detestable idolatry. They are surprised that you do not join them in the reckless, wild living, and they heap abuse on you. But they will have to give account to him who is ready to judge the living and the dead. For this is the reason the gospel was preached, even to those who are now dead, so that they might be judged according to human standards in regard to the body, but live according to God in regard to the spirit. The end of all things is near. Therefore be alert and of sober mind, so that you may pray. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. Offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in various forms. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, they should do so with the strength God provides, so that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen. Kind of crazy, because I was trying to follow her in my Bible while she was reading.
It's hard to keep track with him.
Yeah, but it all means the same thing. Yeah, it's just
I can appreciate
a lot of people
variety and vocabulary.
Bash a lot. Not a lot of people. There are specific people that bash a lot of doing different translations of the Bible. I disagree. I think, like, you can break it all the way down to the Message version, and I mean, it breaks it down like crazy layman's terms. Like, it's insane how much they break it down. So it's a much longer Bible because they have to use a lot more words to explain one scenario. But I love the Message version just because it's just, I don't know, it's so much different, so much easier to picture in your head than the theys and thous and or
thou
the.
hast. Yeah.
So in my humble opinion, I don't see nothing wrong with using different translations. As a matter of fact, my granny.
The whole point is so that the person reading it can understand.
Right. I don't care. I could read the King James Version 150 times and I'm not going to get probably 80% of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My granny was the one who, like, specifically suggested the NIV study
What
Bible.
line?
Yours is a student study Bible. I think yours is a little more broke down than mine. My granny was, like, dead set on she has to get me an NIV study Bible. She actually got my dad the same Bible except for it's larger with large print. You see, she had my name put on it.
Dave had my name put on mine.
Yeah, Sammy's name's on her Bible. I've had this Bible for, when was it?
2018?
Yeah, 2018. September 3rd, 2018. I've got to get some wood back glue. Oh, and this is
5
another
years.
thing I got from my granny that I taped to the very front page of my Bible. Listen to this. I love this. When I say that I am a Christian, I am not shouting that I am clean living. I'm whispering I was lost, but now I'm found and forgiven. When I say I am a Christian, I don't speak of this with pride. I'm confessing that I stumble and need Christ to be my guide. When I say I am a Christian, I'm not trying to be strong. I'm professing that I'm weak and need His strength to carry on. When I say I'm a Christian, I'm not bragging of success. I'm admitting I have failed and need God to clean up my mess. When I say I am a Christian, I'm not claiming to be perfect. My flaws are far too visible, but God believes I am worth it. When I say I am a Christian, I still feel the sting of pain. I have my share of heartaches, so I call upon His name. When I say I am a Christian, I'm not holier than thou. I'm just a simple sinner who received God's good grace somehow.
Hello, Granny.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I fell in love with that as soon as she gave it to me. Like, that has to go right in front of my Bible because that just, you cannot explain it any better than that. A lot of people have this misconception of Christians thinking that they're
Because they don't take the time to try to
perfect
understand
or
before they
I'm
run
better
their
than
mouth.
you.
Just like
No.
every other scenario, people
Right.
speak before they know what they're talking about.
I love and believe in Christ because I know I am a failing sinner. And there's no way that I'm going to be able to press on to succeed in this life without the love of Christ. I realize that. Definitely not perfect. None of us are perfect. Anybody that claims to be
Yeah.
perfect,
There's something wrong with
yeah, you want to question that. And that's kind of the same as, I guess, more angled towards religious people, more of religious people instead of a standard Christian, right? Because the religious people, like even back in Jesus' day, they were the Pharisees, so they were the people that tried to kill Christ. That still goes on today. There's a lot of religious people, and you know it. I mean, especially a guy like me with tattoos everywhere, like if I walk into an unknown church, you will know immediately if these people are true Christians or religious, because they will immediately look down their nose at you. Yeah, I had a lot of anger towards the church because of that. Because of that behavior. I mean, years ago when I was trying to straighten up in one of my moments where I felt like I was over it and just bouncing around trying to find different churches, and it seemed like everyone I walked in was that kind of church. It was like immediate, make you feel like you don't belong there.
Yeah.
But I ended up finding the First Nazarene Church in Oklahoma City, and they had Celebrate Recovery, which is it's for people, it's almost like a rehab almost group, but it's not, but it is. Even if you have not struggled with any kind of addiction your whole life, it's still meant for everybody because they tackle that. What they say is hurts, hang-ups, and habits. So any kind of hurt you have been gone through in your life, any hang-ups that keep you caught up, or addiction habits. So it's pretty cool. But they had that CR, and my dad was already going to that CR. That's whenever me and Sammy started talking. My dad got me from Kansas City up there, and so I started going to that little CR class. So I think that had a lot to do with people being more accepting in that church because they had a CR, so there were a lot of people like me and that struggled. They were just so open arms, man. Like when I first moved up there, I literally almost lived at that church, like because I wasn't working yet, and so every single day I'd go up to the church and it would just be Pastor Hardy up there, and he'd put me to work. I'd cut grass, and I did that for almost a year, dedicated to him, and then I got that job at Knitcraft. And it wasn't long after that I relapsed. Went downhill fast. It seemed like every time I would get clean for a spell and relapse, every single time that I would relapse, it was like more barbaric than the last. Like it was just, it would go so deep and it would get so bad so fast.
Unless it's inclined, like it's about to get death.
It wasn't a whole lot longer after that when me and Sam officially got together. I went up to Indiana.
That was all she wrote. That's what I was messaging my mom about earlier.
Yep, got up there in September of 2011.
2012, bro.
2011.
Not when you got to Indiana.
Okay, so 2012, just before 2013. So I got to Oklahoma City in 2010. So I spent almost 2 years there. But like I said, I also spent the last 3 or 4 months like strongly addicted, ruining. I had a good job, everything, man. I like really peed in the wind on that one. I wish I could go back to work at that place, man. I really do miss that place. I screwed up with that one.
Yeah, let's try.
Because it was a small business. It wasn't, I mean, it was a decent sized business, but it wasn't like a franchise corporate. It was just one shop with like 10, 15 guys in it, and then your manager, and then your owner, and that was it. It was super cool because at that job, what we did is we made paintless dent removal tools that you use for popping dents out of cars. So there's all kinds of different styles, but what I started out doing was straightening out what they called weld tails. So they were like 1/2 inch thick pieces of metal, and they were about that long, and they had a little like weld tail on the end of them, but they were all coming out of the machine, they were all crooked, and they had this little thing that had these little ball bearings, one on this side, one on this side, and then you had another handle right here that would bend it right in the middle of those bearings. So you had to look right down the rod, get it as straight as you can, and put it in. Well, you keep track of the pieces that you make throughout the month. You have a little notepad, and you write down each individual piece you make, and you get a piece bonus every single month on however. So you get, like, it wasn't a whole lot per piece, like literally maybe a cent or two, but you know,
it's incentive.
If you do 1,000 pieces that month, you're gonna make a pretty, I mean, I don't know, I would get an extra $400 or $500 a month on a bonus every month.
That's rent.
Yeah, so the beginning of the month, it was a paycheck and bonus. So every other payday was bonus and regular check. Yeah, it was a really good place, dude. I really miss that place. I miss everybody up there. Everybody was so cool that I worked with. My boss was super cool. It is what it is. I have tried reaching out to him.
Not in a long time.
No, but probably about 3 or 4 years after we got together, I did. When we were planning on coming back here, I actually talked to TJ, and he actually said that he would consider hiring me back, and I never heard from him. That would be like the perfect job for me to get now when I'm more mature and understand what I have. All right, y'all. Whole lot of jibber jabber about a whole lot of nada.
I'm just worried about my dad. Handle it. Kidding.
Alright, y'all. We love y'all so much. Every single one of you.
y'all.
Thank you so much for your love and support. We appreciate you so much. Like, we really, really do. And like I said, anybody that's going through the ditches and feeling down and out, just keep your head up. It will get better. Everything that happens is only a season. You got to keep that in mind. Everything in life is just a season. That means there is a beginning and there is an end to that season. Just keep your head up. Keep pushing. We love you guys. Thank you. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Y'all know what to do. We love y'all so much.
Love you.
And
Have a
until
blessed
next
day.
time, we'll see y'all next time.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain. Beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.